All right. It's showing us live on Hangouts. I'm just waiting for YouTube to do its thing. Nice. And there it goes. It's doing its thing. Okay, we're there. Welcome from behind enemy lines to Rick's Life as I See It, a 1-hour talk show about guns, politics, and anything else that crosses my mind. Also answers questions from the listener. You can either put them in the chat or email them to me at rickslifeasiseeit@gmail.com or spottedrick@gmail.com. The audio file of this show is normally on Podbean, Stitcher, and iTunes within 24 hours. I have a Patreon page and all that good stuff. It's listed below. So if anybody wants to help me out, there we go. So, unknown users, send me your mailing address. You won the quiz last week, and I don't have it. You won the instant quiz? I can't find your mailing address anywhere. You know? So, hey, Gunpowder Beauty. So, hey, Rich. Well, on tonight's panel, I've got Squib, but the main guest is Patriot in the Dark. And if anybody's got any questions for him, because the last couple of weeks, he's put out a couple of good quality videos, which I wanted to talk about. Or if anybody's got any other kind of questions they want to ask him, feel free to put them in the chat. So there we go. So I want to say that I already put a notice, but that first one you did, I saw for the 1911. I mean, it never crossed my mind to turn it upside down to put the slide on and off.
That helps with the link for sure.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, because the first time I done it, that stupid link, whatever, kept moving on me. You know? So I thought it was pretty good, but I was amazed on how good that was and your detail on the way you explained it. I mean, anybody could have figured, anyone could follow that, whether they had a sight problem or like me, just a bit slow,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Then the second one, which was you're talking about the using your little buzzer things for your targets and stuff, which I thought was kind of cool. But you've mentioned that before.
Yes, the key finders. Yeah, I like them. They work pretty good, and they're cheap enough if you accidentally break them or shoot them or lose them. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Batteries kind of stink. You got to buy extras, but
yeah. I mean, on that, how far can you stand back from the target and still hear them?
It depends. I mean, I use the electronic muff, so I mean, I can be pretty far away. It's just the range. It depends on which company you buy, and so some are not as far, cheaper made ones or whatever, and some you get that don't work at all. So it's just kind of I'm not going to say hit or miss or anything, but so it depends. I mean, I've had them, where you can get up to 20 yards or so, but I mean that's really stretching it, and it depends on where you're shooting too, because it gets pretty loud, at a range and stuff where it's hard to pick up something so far away. But
okay, all right. I forgot to mention I'm broadcasting on gun channels and YouTube at the same time. It's amazing what technology can do. And I've put a link in on the gun channel side if somebody wants to join the panel. I didn't think about this this is what I said. I'm a bit slow on the uptake sometimes. I normally will drop the link in the YouTube side, and I've been very lucky so far. But somebody said to me, one day you might get a troll. Click on that and come into your onto your panel and cause havoc until I got rid of them. You know what I'm saying? So that made sense to me. Normally, you're not going to get a troll on gun channels. Oh, okay. Rich White has a question for you, Patriot. Does the laser on his shield help him aim better?
I've actually never used it. I bought it just for the idea of having a spotter and going through that. But by the time I got it, and I didn't really have anybody around to help with the batteries, that kind of stuff, because I don't know if it's on or not. I guess because it doesn't have like a hard switch.
I didn't have the bet on the bottom. He said he was only kidding. He was just giving you ribbon. But
yeah. So I mean, it looks cool. Honestly, that's the only reason I got it.
If it's on, cool. If it's on, I know you legally blind, but you can't. You actually couldn't see that if it was working.
I'm totally blind, 100% lights out, perfectly blind.
Okay,
gotta be perfect at something, and I'm perfectly blind. So yeah, I can't see nothing. So
okay, all right.
And that's the thing. If I put the batteries in, it could be on, because it came with some outside the waistband holster that had a reed switch in there that magnet. So as you pull it out, it's supposed to come on. But I thought it was kind of a lame holster, so I never used it. But yeah, I just left it on there for because it looks cool.
Hey, the gun snob. Good to see you. Oh yeah, it does. It looks pretty good.
You got to dress them up, being 9mm. So I had to dress it up somehow.
Because there's not a lot of us going for it, really.
Hey, it's powerful enough to take out a key fob, apparently.
Well, yeah. The original video I did for that, I forgot that the lights were out, and I had turned on the outside lights on the deck instead of in the dining room. And so when I recorded it was pitch black, but that had the best scene with that, because I said, it's 9mm, but you can see it just cracked it because it was plastic, and
yeah,
it was a little tough. But that video just kind of got scrapped.
Oh well.
Yeah, I've got a whole folder of videos like that myself.
I had a perfect one. It was complete. It was on the P238 SIG. Got it all done, and it wouldn't allow me to save it on my phone because it said my memory's full. So I'm deleting old stuff and getting rid of stuff. And I went back there, and it said, you're missing some, sections of this video. And so I guess I must have deleted something I wasn't supposed to. So, yeah. And I don't have that pistol anymore. That's the one I gave to my mom for her birthday. So, yeah, maybe I could sneak over there when she's not looking or something. But, yeah, kind of stinks.
It's a question. How did you figure... like when you got the picture of the gun right in the middle of the screen. How do you do it? I'm dumb to this. How are you actually doing it? Like still?
Well, what I did is I've got one of the mats, the $4 mats off of I don't even know where it came from. One of the sites, it's just a pistol mat, and I lay it out, and that's pretty big. It's like, I don't know, 3 times bigger than like a placemat.
Okay.
So I put that on my table. Well, I don't have like a tripod or anything like that. I have my daughter. I got to say this quiet because she'll hear me. She's here. Her selfie stick, and I rigged up a frame, a wood base, and I zip tied it to it, and then I just used some bar clamps. I clamped it to the top of my table, which I'm not married, so I can do that. So I had it directly facing down, and then before my first video, I kind of extended it and kind of felt where it was at, and then I had her, I took a picture with it sitting in the middle where I thought it was, and asked, my daughter, I said, hey, does that look good? And she's my little helper sometimes, and so she said it was cool, and but like originally when I did that 1911, all the parts I had setting where I thought were still in view, but I guess some of them are not. Like I was outside of the view.
Yeah, there was a couple, but it didn't take away from it at all.
Yeah, I was just that because I try to stay really organized, so setting the parts in particular order, that kind of thing. And but yeah, it was just fun, something to try.
Okay, unknown user asked, when aiming your gun, how do you know where your muzzle is? Do you rely on muscle memory?
and that depends on the pistol, because with your trigger finger straight, a lot of times, depending on the pistol, you can basically, where you're pointing is the same way as the muzzle. And you kind of figure it out, because I'll lay, like, if I grip my hand and I have my finger pointing straight, my trigger finger pointing straight, I'll take my weak side hand and lay it flat on top of the muzzle, just so that I practice that dry firing, so that I know, okay, I'm pointing straight, and then I verify with my other hand, okay, with this pistol it is right. So as long as I'm up below that ridge, or right at this point of the trigger guard, I know that it's pointing that way. So once you practice enough, and it just depends on the pistols. So you got to, like the revolvers are a little different, but
okay.
So it's yeah. So I mean, it is muscle memory, but to verify, I'll use my weak hand, set it parallel right on top of the barrel, and then I know, obviously, between my finger and the hand and stuff. So
now I'm not sure if Rich is doing one of his jokes or not here.
Yeah, it's fine.
Says,
And
jokes
are fine with me.
He goes, based on the natural point of aim, does he find a Glock harder to aim?
Hey, I was going to ask the same question. Seriously.
Why?
And
Why?
like I said,
what am I missing?
Okay, Glock plus grip angle equals what? I mean, the grip angle is not natural.
Okay.
Yeah, and the only Glock I have are keychains. I've got a couple of the keychains, and that's the only Glock I've got. So
yeah,
I've never
I don't even know the Glock either. So
yeah. So I mean, from what I have, I've got CZs, old style, old stuff, nothing new, and Walther and different things, and it seems like they just kind of work out. They haven't had anything that was like crazy off or anything.
Oh, Night Strike's joined us on the panel. How you doing, Night Strike?
Hello.
Yeah. Now, I got also you two, Squib. Have you two got any questions for Patriot about how he manages to shoot and make his videos or whatever with his disability? Feel free to ask him. Hey, John Brown. So, anybody else got anything else? Come on, unknown user, Rich. Give me some stuff here. We're lacking a few people. It's a slow night. It always is during the summertime. My crowd's always smaller because it's still light out. People are still doing their thing, So
it's still light out.
Yeah. So sorry.
I gotta go.
Yeah, it's still light out. Well, it's up here in Rhode Island anyway. 7. Yeah, it's still light. So you still I can still be shooting.
Patriot, it's all in the delivery, man. It's all in the delivery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm a bit slow on the uptake there, so I told you I was a bit slow. So, anyway, there was... anybody got any other questions? Come on, we got him here. We might as well ask him. You got any Night Strike?
And if you have any suggestions of things that you would like to see, I mean...
Do we have any questions for Patriot? Patriot, do you know that sometimes you say things that are that I don't know if you're joking or if you're not realizing you're saying them, but they're hilarious given what we know about you now.
Yeah. I mean, if you check out some of those comments before anybody knew, I mean, I've always been, I've always been a jerk. So
there's been some topics we've been talking about things, and Patriot has once said, "I'll believe it once I see it," and I'm like, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Okay. General Relativity has a question. He goes, do you just use one type of ammo to avoid confusion? For example, just use 155 grain or 147 grain type thing, for it's the same that you're using with that gun,
Yeah. I guess I do, really. I mean, I never really thought about it. I mean, I know everybody, throws out different numbers, what they like and stuff, but it's I don't know. I buy bulk, and so it just ends up that I kind of keep it the same, and I guess it's not by design or anything. That's just how it happens, I guess.
Oh, the Gunsmith
Yeah,
has a question for you. Now,
okay.
this might be an easy answer, but is like with the ammo. He said, how? I mean, if he said, how does he tell the difference in like a 380 and a 9mm because they're very close enough in the same size?
Yeah. Well, I pick up the 9mm and I show it to the range officer, and if he starts laughing, then I know it's the 9. But no, it's a size thing.
I mean, do you have a 380?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. No, I gifted it to my mom, so I do have 380 ammo still. But okay. yeah, because I mean, it depends on what I take too, because that is one reason I haven't got a Makarov. I don't have any 9x19, 19, 18.
18.
Yeah,
9x19, or 9x18.
Yeah, because of the reason I don't want a hand grenade, as far as happening, because I mix those two up because I guess they are a lot closer than the 380 is small. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, 380 shorter. Is 9x17. So, yeah. I mean, when you're tumbling brass for reloads and stuff like that, sometimes they'll end up in there together if you've got some of that stuff. But otherwise, though, I'd say it's small enough that tactile you could feel the difference. I mean, you're just taking one out of the corner of the box and going, all right, what is this? Right? I mean, not checking each individual one.
Yeah. So I mean, once I get in the boxes too, I mean, all my ammo, I have separated. Of course, I do have one ammo can that has kind of like a collage. I have 38 special, 32 ACP, and 380 in it, that's just kind of like more of a one I take with me range kind of thing. As and then the other ones are all separated into singles or whatever. But and all three of those are pretty well, easy to tell apart.
All right.
Well, now, what if you sent an email to like Hornady or Winchester or Privy Partisan or something and said, "Hey, how come you don't put Braille on your boxes?" And then the guy in tech support there going, "What?"
yeah. Especially at least on their self-defense rounds. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I got another question for you.
Okay.
We might have answered this in past chats, but David Bowden, he's fairly new to my chats anyway. He wants to know
from Maryland.
What got you into shooting anyway? What got you into the shooting sport? Have you always been shooting?
Well, as a kid, I mean, I'm from Michigan, so I mean, I shot from really young. Had Daisy while I was before kindergarten, Daisy Red Ryder, and then the Marlin 22s, and so through school and stuff, I hunted. I had a Savage 30-30 and stuff, but then I went in the Marine Corps, and after that, I wasn't into firearms just because I traveled a lot, work wise, and I was always gone, so it wasn't something I wanted to have stashed at my house if I wasn't there. And then it just kind of the actual first pistol I bought was 1911, was the one in the video, and that was after I was totally blind. So that was my first pistol. And just before that, I had bought a shotgun and stuff. And as a joke, I was saying, "Boy, I'll have to come back and fill out more papers for the pistol." And he said, "Well, you could get it right now under the same paperwork." And I hadn't really looked into anything like that. And the reason I got the pistol is just so that I had something, where I could take it apart and put it together and, keep my head as a side thing, just as a hobby kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then once you get your free free range trip with the pistol and stuff. So, the rest is history. And I get,
Yeah, my gun shop got me on that one too, because I originally ordered one of my guns from Bud's Guns. I know some people doesn't like them, but I've never had a problem with them. But when I was picking it up, this is when I was looking at that M&P 1522. I was looking. It was used. Sounds like a car, but it was he had a trade in on it, and I'm talking. He said, "Well, you can get that on this same thing. It doesn't. You can put up to 5, I think, on one 4473, I believe." So he sold it to me. You know what I'm saying? I was fell for it. Okay, I've got another question here. Unknown user wants to know: do you choose lighter recoil ammo to help with follow-up shots, or does it matter? I guess it's getting the muzzle back on.
Yeah, really, I've never used low recoil or lighter loads for anything. I talked about possibly getting something for the 38 Special just to be quieter, not really recoil. That doesn't wasn't a real concern. It's just obviously since I can't see, everything I deal with is with my ears, and since if you shoot, even the 9mm, when you shoot it without ear protection, it you hear it. It hurts a little bit, and any kind of ringing or whatever can kind of I'm imagining this. This is just something I've thought about. It's nothing that's happened, but shooting a 357 or whatever, you're going to know it. And for sighted people, it's not a problem. You get your tunnel vision and you shoot, and you're not even they're like, oh, I didn't even hear it when I shot. Well, I'm going to hear it because that's all I focus on. So I did look into some 38 Special light loads just for the noise part of it, but I never I haven't got anything or done anything past looking up and finding some of the, I guess I call them whisper loads for the cowboy action or something.
Yeah,
but I've never got anything though. So.
Oh, okay. Got another one here. Oh, Sean says it's 102 degrees still in Houston. Okay, another one from unknown user. For home defense, do you carry in the house or do you have a weapon strategically located?
I normally am carrying unless I go to my doctor's appointments or something where I can't because of legal reasons, whatever. But yeah, I'm always carrying. I mean, I have a shower gun too, right? I mean, doesn't everybody?
Well, that's what we're talking about in the chat this morning. Somebody you gotta have a gun stuck in the in the toilet in the bowl at the back. Where you're in water stored. You gotta keep one in there.
Right.
Yeah, really. I mean, I do have things around, but I do have a daughter, so it's not anything that's just laying out or anything. Everything's locked or
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as that, I'm usually carrying just because I can.
Okay, Sean's joined us on the panel. Well, we asking since I got Patriot here, we're asking him a lot of questions. You got anything that's crossed your mind to ask him, Sean?
Oh, sorry, I'm late. I forgot it starts earlier than I'm used to. Oh, hang on. I just got called.
Okay. So,
Poor Sean.
Yeah, poor Sean. You got any questions, Squib?
No, the only question I could think of was the Glock question, but yeah. Okay, so I guess people saying hate on is probably just it's too abbreviated. It's too broad. It's actually really not hate. It's pick on or give crap about some of the things that I like to shoot, or some of the just some of the things involving shooting sports that I'm into, and I give a lot of it back on the whole Glock thing and a few others. So I guess I'm just as guilty as the people that I'm saying what's with all the, you know, what's with all the criticism. So I'm guilty of it in different ways myself. So I've been told that I just haven't shot the right Glock yet. So I'm willing to give I'm willing to give it another chance, but it's, man, I mean, once you shoot one and just realize you don't like it, it's kind of hard to want to go back and shoot again. So
yeah.
But I think that is one of the selling points of Glocks, that you can have a whole basket full of parts and put 15 of them together, so they're all the same. I thought.
Yeah. Oh,
well, another thing about it is there's so many fanboys and they're so hardcore about it that because they like it so much, it just naturally makes me not want to like it. And there's some things that a lot of people do not like, and that makes me want to gravitate towards liking it just to be different. So, yeah, that's my own problem.
So, Squib, that means you like being an ass.
Oh, yeah. Because you know what, I've gotten further in life being an ass than being nice. So, but other than the Glock hate, no, I don't have any.
Words of wisdom, right there.
I don't have any other questions. I think it's great though that you don't let your disability hinder you. You get out and you do stuff, and you've found a way to work with it. And I think it's great that you're sharing this with everybody, because people would be scratching their heads going, I didn't know you could do that. So
I actually went to my doctor today, a specialist, and it was funny because I was talking about having a sensor, whatever. Anyways, it was something talking to my phone, and he's like, well, who's going to read it to you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, well, if it's sent to your phone, who's going to read it to you? I said, well, my phone will just tell me. And he didn't understand the concept, and so I had to turn his iPhone on and have it, voiceover on. And he's like, well, how do you understand that? It talks so fast. It's like, oh my goodness. So, yeah. So it's good to be out there, because I'm sure he's got more than just one blind person, as a patient. And at least now he's kind of got an understanding that, wow, somebody doesn't have to read it off your phone if, the person.
Oh, the gun.
Well, now that makes me think of a question, though. Okay, so your electronics, because you're visually impaired, your electronics do talk to, or the opposite of it, they talk to you. Are there gun words that they can't pronounce properly or can't pronounce at all because it's not in the dictionary?
Oh yeah, like those castle rounds, right? Casul, yeah, it doesn't say that correctly.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah.
But it's funny because most of my software, I can change enunciations and things. So when it says night strike, it says night streak and different things. So
oh, come on!
But,
I don't want to see night strike streaking.
I don't streak, thank you.
He who streaks in the night.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it!
They don't call that night streaking. They call that Bigfoot sightings.
It would be if it was Yankee doing it.
So the gun snob says so.
No, Yankees from where they've got the Mothman.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's Squib. The gun snob was listening to what you were talking about, being an ass and everything else, and criticizing. He said, so what you are is a troll.
Well, I mean, I guess. See, that's the whole thing. So I was listening to a show where they were talking about kids and bullying, and I thought about it, and I go, yeah, I remember kids that were bullies in school, and back a long time ago when I went to school, the way you took care of them is you punched them in the face, and they left you alone because they realized, bullying this guy isn't a good idea. Well, nowadays you can't do that because it's not right. I'm not talking about putting somebody in a hospital. I'm just talking about letting them know, hey, man, I ain't going to take no crap from you. So nowadays kids have it a little bit different. Then they've got the whole social media thing. that follows them after they leave school. They can't just go home and get away from it all. It's on Facebook and it's online and they're texting and kids are sending messages, and you can Photoshop a meme, and I mean, it could just go on and on and on. But at the end of the day, though, you got to realize they're bullies, and there's going to be bullies the rest of your life. You're going to have a boss that's a bully. You're going to have a coworker that's a bully. You're going to have whatever it is, and you've got to deal with bullies. If you can't deal with them physically like that, you've got to deal with them in other ways. Well, now we're all adults, and now we're on YouTube. Now we're doing social media and stuff, and there's people that troll the channels, and they troll the chats and things like that. And those people that are trolling are bullies, just like when we were kids. Now, you can't punch them in the nose, but you can deal with them the same way you would tell your children today to deal with them, which is to ignore them, don't let it get to you, just keep living your life, don't worry about it, and you're going to be dealing with people like that your whole life. So from the standpoint of being a bully, no. If you want to call me a troll, I guess, sure. But in my definition, trolls are kind of like bullies, and I've never been a bully. I've been the person that takes care of bullies. I tell my children, do not ever be the bully at school, but do not take no crap from a bully. And that's just it. If you either take it right back to them or you just ignore them, they'll typically go away. So as adults, why do we all get so butthurt over trolls if all they really are bullies?
You're right. You're right. David says toxic masculinity being triggered.
Oh yeah, it is. I've been accused of that.
Okay. Oh yes, the Gun Snob says, have you ever heard how fast his phone talks? It's amazing anyone can understand it.
That I practiced that. You know, when I first started, it was really slow. You know, so you can understand it, and I'd always bump it up. So I really had to pay attention to understand it. And when it was getting easy, I would bump it up farther and farther and farther, so that, you know, I can't just, you know, peek at my phone and read a private message. I have to listen to it. And if I don't have, you know, earbuds or something, and there's a office full of people and I want to listen to it, I'm going to listen to it. And, you know, they just look at me like I'm nuts when it's talk so fast. But
all right. Anybody else got any questions for him? Because I got a topic that Sean's chomping at the bit to get to. Got nothing to do with Patriot.
Totally. I don't know if what you're about to mention is what I want to talk about now, but go ahead.
Oh, what I was going to talk about is the other day. I'm thinking I can get this right. Why do actors? Anybody have any questions? Let me check. No. Why do actors or sports personalities?
Okay.
What gives them the right to spout political BS at me like they're got some degree in political science?
They don't.
All right. Now I know what you're on about. I asked this very question for a while now, and I tried very hard to be non-biased and look for the answer. And when I found the answer, I understood it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it, and I can respect it. I'm going to use LeBron James as an example. He is an inner city success story. He's a guy who went through high school, skipped college, entered the draft. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. If you look at the way that the NBA is structured with the commissioner and the way that they promote the league, basically what they're trying to say is anybody can be a superstar. Anybody can be anything. And LeBron James is a very good example of that, because he came from nothing and now look at him. He's the most sought after. He's probably the best player in NBA history. And I can agree with all that to that point. What gives him the right to spout politics is not because of who he is. It's because of what he is. He is a role model. He is something for children and younger generations and young adults to aspire to. For all the guys out there who work a 9-to-5 in a blue-collar job that feels like a dead end, they look at him as a hero. They want to know what he thinks. They want to know what he believes in because they admire him. And as much as I disagree with that, I can completely understand it. I don't agree with his message, but I completely agree with the fact that he is answering a question that the media is asking that people like you and me don't care about. We don't want to know what he thinks, but there are millions of aspiring young men, young children, whatever, that look up to him. And that is why these people get away with it. You go to a sporting event to get away from everyday life. You get away from politics. You don't want to remember your bad day, so you go see them. But the fact of the matter is that that is their stage. That's the only place that they can get this crap out. And that's why, even though I don't agree with it, I understand it. And I don't like it, but I can respect it. That's why. That's the answer to that question. I don't agree with it. I don't like it, but I do respect it. And I hate it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Alaskan said nobody working 9 to 5 gives a shit what LeBron thinks.
Well, you're right. A lot of them don't, but there are some that do. You know, there are inner city kids who don't think that they're going to get anywhere in life because their parents work 3 jobs. They're never home. They're not there. They work in a shitty education system. They're not getting a good education, but they might have a little bit of talent, and they think, you know what? Maybe a scout will see me. Maybe I'll make it in the NBA. 1 out of 150,000 kids might make the draft, but it gives them hope, and that hope gives them a hero, and they want to know what their hero thinks. I like I said, I don't agree with it, but I respect it because I understand what it's about, even though it's a message I don't agree with. And I had to swallow a huge ego pill because I don't like it, but I completely understand it.
Well, I do to a certain degree, but spout what you want to say in your sporting arena. You don't have to go on the goddamn national news and tell everybody else. Tell it to your little peons.
Right, but that's the problem, you see. Because they are a media of the people, they're asking the questions that a demographic of people want to know the answer to. I don't agree with it either, but they are asking the questions. Otherwise, you're right. Why would anyone care? Because someone is definitely asking the question.
But the chat's not agreeing with you at all.
I don't agree with it either. I'm not saying I like it. I don't like it. I completely don't like the political beliefs of LeBron James. Don't get me wrong. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, I think you said it well by saying you don't agree with it, you don't like it, but you understand it.
Right.
And that's the thing. In life, there are all kinds of things that we don't agree with or we think are tacky or whatever it is, but we understand it. Or it's a BS law, but it's the law, so we have to follow it, or so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I agree with you. I mean, you don't have to like something, but you have to accept it, up to a point, So that I understand where you're coming from. I don't like your answer, but I'll accept it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't like my answer, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Like, that was a bitter pill for me to swallow. I was going to screen share something that I'm probably going to talk about on Matt's show tonight, because up until I gave you this idea for a topic, what happened between then and now, I am fuming pissed.
Are we talking about our senator from Massachusetts?
Yes.
You can bring it up if you want.
Well,
anybody else heard it yet?
You really want to talk about it?
Yeah, go for it.
I don't know about this, so lay it on me.
All right. So basically, hang on, let me find it.
I agree with the unknown user. Legally, they are allowed to spout their opinions, but morally, they should shut the hell up.
This.
Yes, I will agree with that completely, yes.
This is my response to what I saw today.
Okay.
This is a quote from Elizabeth Warren when she was asked about the murder and rape of Molly Tibbetts, this girl that's been missing in Iowa for over 30 days. And she literally said this: I know this is hard for her family, but they have to remember that we need to focus on the real problems, like illegal immigrants not being able to see their kids. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I was about to say the exact same thing.
This is my response.
So illegal immigrant children are more important than goddamn American children.
Exactly.
Yeah, take care of your own first.
This is my response. I'm like, you fucking cunt. This family is permanently separated from their murdered daughter by a fucking illegal. And you're going to lecture me on what the real problems are? Bitch, you don't even know what the fuck you are. You don't know your own fucking heritage. And you're going to spout this shit?
Oh,
Look,
man.
people, the good people of Massachusetts, the non-libtarded fucking morons of Massachusetts, you need to demand a special fucking ballot and get this cunt out of office. End of fucking story. This is what's got me fired up today. I heard this and I fell out of my fucking chair. So LeBron doesn't mean shit to me now compared to this.
I hadn't heard of that, but that's awful.
Yeah, David Mullen says MSNM said, quote, they're just some girl.
They did. They said, just because some girl in Iowa died, we shouldn't lose our focus on what's actually important. Really? Because all you fucking talk about
is children this, children that. Oh, guns are bad this, guns are bad that.
Not even that, dude.
That's all they're talking about.
All they're talking about are two people who got Al Caponed yesterday. You've got Manafort, who was found guilty of 8 counts of stupid shit. Failure to declare his income. Failure to file his taxes. It's all tax shit. Same thing with Michael Cohen. He copped a plea deal for taxes and fucking like failure to report income. And all of a sudden the media is in this huge fucking uproar about, hey, this has something to do with Russia. It has nothing to do with Russia. It has nothing to do with collusion. It has nothing to do with the president. But this is their golden goose egg. Golden goose egg. Because it ain't shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they are wetting their pants thinking they got something here.
They have nothing.
I know. But back to your Molly Tibbetts thing. Under User says, no, seriously, tell us what you really think.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
I don't think we can say it on YouTube.
I will tell you.
Because I thought that the way he said it was funny.
I'll indulge you.
I understand where you come from, and I totally agree with you on that. I really
I'll indulge him. I will completely indulge him.
Yeah.
We've reached a point where the liberal mindset has reached critical mass. We have reached a level of absurdity so far out there that the only way to stop it is to smack them across the face with a wet newspaper and go, no, enough. You can't be nice to these people. You can't use logic against these people. You just need to smack them and say, enough. This is over. This is done. If it were me, I would take this guy and I would say, well, given the laws of our land, the only thing we can do is deport you. Come this way. Right this way, sir. Take him to what looks like an airport terminal with the little plastic covers or whatever, those little sheets to keep the temperature in and out of the terminal. And say, right through that gate is your deportation. Shove him through it, and on the other side is the opening vent to a fucking wood chipper. And solve the problem that way. Because you find me one liberal in the last 48 hours. Find me one who can justify this bullshit. Find me one who will even mention sanctuary cities for this bullshit.
They will.
Because you know what? This is not the first one. You remember that girl in Santa Monica? She got killed by an illegal alien on the fucking pier.
With a stolen gun.
What did they do to him?
They didn't do anything to him.
You think this will be the last one?
No.
If Donald Trump needed one moment to put his foot down and say, this is the one topic and the one thing I ran for that I can see through to the very end, this should have been it. He should have been on camera today saying, I am going to put out a list of executive orders on immigration, and none of you can, would, or should stop me. Because this needs to stop. There's no excuse for this. Not one liberal in my group of circle, people, on my Facebook feed, on my Instagram, or nothing. I challenged every one of them. I said, one of you, I dare you to try to defend this. And not one person responded. They can't defend it. They know it's wrong. We have a media cycle right now that thinks these trumped up bullshit charges against two people for taxes is more important than the moral compass of this nation and a girl who was kidnapped, raped, and murdered by a fucking illegal. This could have been completely prevented.
Oh, yeah.
And they think that that's less important.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where it needs to stop.
Anything they can do to get rid of Trump is all they're interested in. That's all they want to do. Is they want to try to make his election illegal and get him out of office as fast as they can. And it ain't, I mean, it's not going to happen because what they got is nothing.
Right.
You know? So.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
I'm going to have to jump out of here real quick. But I just wanted to say thank you for having me. And if anybody's got anything, send it my way. Send it to Rick.
All right. Appreciate it, Patriot. Thanks for answering your questions for us.
Okay, did my mic just cut out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You're back on now. So I will say
Just-
thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll see you Saturday.
Okay.
Later.
Have a good one.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Later, Patriot.
Yeah, that's good stuff off him today. Yeah, but I agree with you there, Sean. You're, it is. It's just got out of control. But, you know, as I told you today when I went up to the diner up here in, behind enemy lines, the place was full. And all he kept coming out of his little cubby hole going, impeachment. And I kept laughing at him and said, keep it up, doing that.
Well,
We're going to win 2022.
if you let him blow his steam like that, right?
Yeah.
Let him. Just ask him one question. You could say, can you name me one provable piece of anything that would actually stick in an impeachment? Can you find me anything that he's actually guilty of that would stick?
Oh, I mean, right now he's just going to quote what CNN and all them other stations are telling him. That Cohen said he was directed by the president to pay off those people.
Okay, let's look at that objectively. Michael Cohen says this, right? And he says he was instructed by the president. This is before the election. This is before he had mountains. He didn't even have mountains of campaign finance money. This came out of his own pocket anyway. So who gives a shit? It's his money. So there's no violation here. There is nothing here. None of this will stick.
No, I mean, even even Obama had the biggest fine ever put against him for a violation.
$400 and something thousand.
Yeah.
If this will prove anything, if this illustrates anything, all this does is prove that we need a campaign finance reform system that puts concrete rules and really stringent checks and balances. I think you and I talked about this earlier today. Could you imagine if we, the people, set rules for campaign finance that say you're running for president of the United States, you are only allowed $25 million for advertising. If you're a senator, you're only allowed $10 million for advertising. And if you're a congressperson, you're only allowed $7 million. If we set hard caps, just like collective bargaining agreements in the NBA, a lot of this crap would go away. Because if you set a number like that of $25 million only, not only do people have to go out and do their own research because they're not getting bombarded by propaganda, but interest groups can't line the pockets of the people running.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just I don't know. I mean, like Clinton. I mean he got, didn't he get for perjury, and they let it go. You know.
Well, not really. He actually did get impeached. He actually did get disbarred.
Yeah, but I mean he's you know, I mean,
He wasn't removed from office, but he was disbarred as a legal counsel, essentially.
yeah, but I mean he wasn't taken into a court of law and tried.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean,
They didn't remove him.
I mean, really, I mean he has sex in the Oval Office, and it's okay.
Well, he's only the second president in history to actually be impeached.
Yeah, yeah. And,
that's still something.
Yeah, but he still was able to serve out his term, though.
Because what he did wasn't criminal to the office of the President of the United States. But, I mean, it still looks bad. To us, it looks bad. Media and liberals try to downplay it. Like, oh, it's no big deal. Really?
Adultery
It's
is
not a
fine
big deal?
to the adultery is literally fine to the liberals, but and the media. But when it comes to when it comes to actually, you know, wanting to do something for the country, oh no, that person's evil. He's, you know, a communist. He's a Nazi. It's ridiculous.
I do have changed the subject slightly. I do have some good news, which I thought was good news in the state of Louisiana.
You're going to talk about the Bank of America and right?
Yeah, Citibank have been
Citibank and B of A have been banned from the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, for going on bond issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you'd like, I can elaborate on this a little bit.
And the reason is because of their Second Amendment philosophy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bloomberg TV. Now, I know Michael Bloomberg is not a very well-liked person, but Bloomberg TV is essentially, as an entity, is actually good for financial news without the politics. They're pretty financially motivated, right? This story came up and got an entire segment this morning on the news.
Oh, it did?
And what was interesting was their conclusion is Louisiana is a drop in the bucket for this. It starts a snowflake that turns into a snowball that will turn into an avalanche. The fears for the market speculators out there is that other states will begin to follow suit. And I hope they do.
So do I.
I hope
they do too.
I hope 2A friendly states tell these banks, your business is not welcome here if you're going to dictate the moral rules and the moral compass of the people who serve or who are patrons to your bank. You shouldn't restrict them. Because if it starts there and it goes to banks, then people will start to question PayPal. People will start to question AdSense. People will start to question YouTube, Google, and everybody else. This is a good thing. This needs to grow.
It definitely does. I agree.
And the market is
got away with it. The other states should start doing it too.
Right. And the market, like speculators, investors, people who have multi-billion-dollar portfolios, people who manage these things, they are actually worried about it. The one state doesn't bother them. It's what happens after this point. If the state of Texas follows, if the state of Florida follows, if the state of Arizona follows, if entire banks get kicked out of entire states, especially states that are on a growth pattern, this will hurt them monumentally, and they will have to renege on their decisions. Because what they're supposed to be is a bank. They're not supposed to be your political or moral compass. They're just supposed to be a bank. And the fact that they're refusing business based on your beliefs, no.
Well, there you go. Back to my very original question. What makes James LeBron become my moral compass?
LeBron James is not your moral
player. He's just meant to be a basketball player. That's all he's meant to be.
To you, yes. He is not your moral compass. He's not my moral compass. There are tens of millions of aspiring inner city kids, that is their God.
I know.
It's those
I just
people,
had to get
and
that
they
in there.
outnumber us.
Yeah.
As long as his message is positive, and those kids don't turn to a life of crime, I'm going to let him say whatever he wants. I don't agree with it. And hopefully when these kids grow up and they start making millions, if they ever make it to into the NBA, hopefully they have their own mind, form their own opinion. They might have been inspired by this guy, but they don't have to follow him.
Yeah, but unfortunately, a lot of these young stars don't. They're,
Right.
I mean, look at the NFL. I mean, the wife beaters. A lot of them are into drugs, breaking the law, and all.
Oh yeah, we call it the National Felons League.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it die. I really can't.
So
The NFL historically killed off the AFL due to contract disputes. And next year, God willing, and I'm not even a God-fearing person, but Vince McMahon is bringing back the XFL next year.
Really?
Yes. He's putting in $500 million of his own money into this time. He decided that he was going to take 2 years to develop this instead of just rushing into it like the first time. He has a rule against kneelers. He has a rule for patriotism. He wants the game to be the way it was. He's loosened up the rules for like hits and things, so the game was like the way it was before that we all grew up with. I truly hope that his league kills the NFL, because the NFL killed the AFL. So it's not like they're the only game in town. It can be replaced, just like the political parties we have. They weren't the first. They won't be the last. We don't have to be complacent with what's out there. We can tear it down. We can expel. We can start over. The same thing can happen with the NFL. And I really, truly hope it does. Because I like football, even though it's not really football. And I definitely don't like the NFL. And I think what it's going to take is the XFL comes back, and NFL team owners who believe in the message leave the NFL and join the XFL. If they do that, that league will die.
yeah, I'll be honest with you, this will be my third season that I have not watched any football.
Mine too. I think third or fourth at least.
So,
like, I don't even care, and we've got a good team,
I
and I
haven't
don't care.
watched sports in over 25 years.
You hear me every day in the lobby. There's only two sports I talk about constantly. That's boxing and basketball.
Yeah. Oh, we don't have the lobby anymore.
What?
Knife got a strike.
Right, but he didn't get banned, did he?
Well, that's what he says on the Gun Channel page.
Thanks, G. Way to go.
Yeah,
So,
we may have to use something else instead.
You do know that it was G, right? This is on him this time.
It was the bacon pancakes thing, wasn't it?
No, he played like 20 or 30 minutes of videos of like street foods being cooked.
Oh, that might be it, but it's on.
You mean food G wouldn't eat because it's not vegan or whatnot, or gluten free.
This is he has systematically taken us. He took me down with a strike, and now he took down Knives.
Knives is done. That's what he
Damn.
said on the front page. So somebody's gonna have to start one tomorrow morning.
Ain't gonna be me.
G's gonna have to put one up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Claim responsibility, G. Now you got to host the lobbies.
Well, anyway, we're coming to the end of the hour. I want to say thank you for everybody who showed up and, get listening to us and the questions we gave to Patriot. It was a pretty good show, and last half here was the good old usual where it goes. Next is Clover, and I believe he's got a archery shooter on today. I think it's today. He's got shotgun. Archery was last week. It's a shotgun shooter this week. And then you got not night straight. That was last night. Then you got never enough ammo after that, and on and on and on. Then you get to the daily gun show at midnight. So there you go.
Yes, sir.
So Glover Tech is next. It's 8 o'clock, so here we'll be starting here any second. So I'm going to say thank you all for showing up. I will be back again on Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Oh, somebody asked me when I'm moving. I'm hoping to be in Indiana on the 1st of October.
Can I ask a rhetorical question for your listeners?
Yeah.
If we start a GoFundMe to help Rick get out of Rhode Island by October 1st, would you help support that? Because right now his deadline, his goal is October 1st. His finances may push him a week or two past that, and that might create problems for both the current landlord and the future one. So if you think that this is something that y'all could support, leave a comment in the video below so we can gauge it, and I'll put one together, and we'll try to help Rick get the hell out of enemy or get out from behind enemy lines.
I appreciate
Rick
that.
desperately needs to leave.
Yes, I do. I do, because you ought to see what they're planning this year on gun control here.
Oh yeah,
It's going to make California look like a free state.
Oh, that reminds me. There's a funny thing. A family member told me that apparently they're trying to ban bump stocks in Charleston, as if that's still a thing.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me.
None?
That surprised me. Anyway, I'm calling it quits. So I want to say thank you all for being here, and I really appreciate it. So I'm going to sign off. So, as we say, I can't remember what we say.
Shall not be infringed.
That's
Shall not
it.
be infringed.
I beat you to it.
Yes, and good night, Felicia.
Good night.